Okay, Chris Popper here in Bangor. I'm joined by Jon Nicholson, one of the lead, I guess, committee members for Yes on 4 in Bar Harbor. And we're talking about what else is anyone talking about in Bar Harbor, but Article 4, Chapter 30, when it comes to cruise ships. And we have previously interviewed Earl Brucklin and Val Peacock from the Bar Harbor Town Council. We had the opportunity to talk to Mr. Sidman last week, and who is a lead petitioner against the cruise ships. So, out of the abundance of fairness and trying to get all sides, we're talking with Jon now with the Yes on 4. So, Jon, if you would kind of tell everybody why you think, well, what your opinion is on question or Article 4 and Chapter 30.
Yeah, thanks, Chris, and I appreciate the opportunity to kind of put our perspective into the airways. So this is unusual for me, and I was outside my comfort zone. I think you had mentioned in one of your kind of media posts that you're, not political. Neither am I. I like to stay in the middle of the road, and I do appreciate everybody's opinion on a lot of matters, and I do listen to them. When I was asked to be a co-chair for the Yes on 4 committee to support the council's Chapter 50 proposal, I felt strongly about it, Chris. This is something that I feel like is a good balance for the town. And there's really a few reasons why I joined the kind of this committee along with Kay Rand. So I feel like the 5 years is a good time period to give the town a cooling down period. It allows all the stakeholders to get together, see what's working, what's not working, and really come up with a longer term sustainable solution. It may not work for all or be ideal for all, but hopefully workable for most. And so we can get beyond that and work on other issues that the town is facing going forward. So, we need to return to civility. This political climate is very charged. And I always say the Hannaford effect, it's starting to happen now, especially with the cruise ships, which has been so contentious of people are avoiding other neighbors in the produce section of Hannaford because they don't want to have that conversation or you're not sharing their views. And that's just wrong. We all love Bar Harbor. We should all be coming to some sort of consensus that, again, not ideal, but hopefully workable for most. So that was kind of one of the 3 points that I saw that, I really was passionate about. The other thing is, Chris, as you know, I'm involved in a lot of nonprofits and I worry about them. The business community does support them quite a bit. I'm involved in the Village Improvement Association. We've had the Shore Path destruction to deal with. We've got Glen Mary coming up. That's going to be a high ticket item that the town is going to be working with us on to get the pool going again. Acadian Youth Sports, which is a shared passion we both have. I've been involved in that for decades, and we do rely on funding for that as well. So I worry there's a trickle down effect if the business community suffers a loss of revenue from this referendum.
When and as I wrote in a post, I hope people don't know how I feel about sides. I mean, how I feel. I don't live in Bar Harbor. People think that I do. At times, I wish I did, but how uh, my particular view on this shouldn't impact anyone because I'm not a stakeholder. But I know from talking to local businesses, talking to people. I mean, one of the things that I saw on Facebook the other day um, is the importance of buying local and supporting local businesses, because when you go out and are trying to fundraise for a soccer team or a baseball team, you see First National Bank on the back of people's shirts. You see Parody's hardware on the back of shirts. You see, Carol Drug in Bangor. You see Tri-City Pizza. You see, Rotary supporting, and you don't see Amazon. You don't see huge, you don't see Rite Aid, you don't see multi store locations supporting local activities. And, that's what's going to make our kids' lives better, is for them to be able to participate in organized sports. And all of that, it comes with money. And Lord knows we wish it were all free. But, I mean, just um, outfitting a baseball team with new shirts and hats, and replacing baseball bases that are stolen, and it just all costs money. And how do you raise money? You either get donations or you make it pay for play, and then that then impacts a lot of people's ability, especially if they have a lot of kids, to participate. And I know that's one of the things that Acadia Youth Sports has done is, they've got scholarships through the generosity of benefactors. So that way, no kid will not be able to participate based upon a family's financial um, uh, being, and what they're able to pay. So, this, like you said, this is ripping Bar Harbor apart. I hope that come November 6th, that there could be a cooling off period, regardless of the outcome. And I think that, uh, we need to get back to not only in Bar Harbor, but throughout the country, um, a level of civility. And, politics has just become, it's nasty now. It's just
Mhm.
nasty. I mean, I was many, many, many years ago, I was on the Bangor City Council, and, we always shook hands at the beginning of the council, and we always shook hands at the end of the council. And, we need to get back to that, because it's just people should be trying to make everything better and leave things better than what they found it. And
Yeah.
I don't know if that's necessarily the 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 hope, and what people are trying to do now.
Yeah, and I think when we formed the committee, Chris, we were looking at like-minded individuals that really can see both sides of an issue, and show both sides of this particular cruise ship issue, that there are a lot of folks in the middle that understand that no, we cannot have unlimited cruise ships in Bar Harbor. That just is not sustainable. But yet we can't have none, which is really where we're at today. There's got to be a happy medium, and I've gotten to know a couple uh, town council people a little closer through this process, and I give them a heck of a lot of credit. They're sticking
Oh,
their necks out there. They love our town just as much as everybody else does, and they're trying to find a balanced solution, to come that's workable. And what you just said is correct about the business community and Acadian Youth Sports. We do have scholarships. There's not one child that's not going to play a sport because they don't have the funds to participate, and those funds come from the business community and other folks too, on both sides of the feelings of this issue. But and a lot of them are anonymous. They just want their community to flourish, and it starts with the kids, and it starts with the all the infrastructure and everything that's supported by all of us, by taxpayers. But there's things happening in the world that you never would have thought would happen, like the national park closing in a season. That was unthinkable, decades ago. Now, real possibility every time the budget gets, appropriated in Congress, that's a casualty for a period of time, and it's devastating.
right.
So the cruise ships provide a sustainable revenue, whether or not it's pouring rain out. Wind, of course, is a separate issue, but if you have a rainstorm or the park closes or some black swan event like that, cruise ships still come in and provide some stability to the revenue of businesses. And costs are rising. A lot of these businesses expanded, in response to the cruise ships coming in and have mortgages to pay. Rent's not getting any cheaper. Staffing, as talk to business owners, that's the number one pain point. And to not to have to take away a piece of their revenue, without a replacement, and within costs increasing, I worry about them. And again, I said it earlier, the nonprofits may suffer because it's a line item businesses may reduce, not to mention their own livelihood and, taxes going up, et cetera, et cetera. So there is a trickle down effect to this that I worry about. And so again, not looking for 100 cruise ships at any one time on one day, but I think this Chapter 50 really gives a good balanced solution for a period of time that gives the business owners a little bit of time where they can take a breath, know what's coming in, and work on something that can be longer term. And that's kind of why I joined the committee, and I'm putting myself out there, so to speak, with doing this and getting the word out of, hey, here's a perspective from someone that does not own a business and yet doesn't want a million cruise ships, but somewhere in the middle there's the answer, and that's usually the case with a lot of issues.
Okay. All right. November 5th, election day. Get out and vote. Early voting is occurring now. So if you can't actually vote on Tuesday, make sure you go to town hall, see the city clerk, make sure you pick up an absentee ballot and let your voice be heard. As I said with Mr. Sidman and I said with Councilors Peacock and Brecklin, I don't believe that there's a bigger issue that will affect Bar Harbor for years to come. So if you are a Bar Harbor citizen, uh, don't don't say, "Oh my gosh, I didn't know about this." I there are enough signs, there are enough people that are talking on both sides that and ultimately it's up to the voters. And so please, please, please get out and vote and make sure that you make your voice heard in this election. And that's all I can say. John,
Yeah.
yeah. Any last words that you want to say or?
No, I echo everything you just said, Chris. I think both sides have done a great job as far as put forth their arguments on why this should pass. Again, yes on 4 is why I'm here. This is what I'm supporting. Please get out and vote. There shouldn't be any excuse for not knowing what's going on this year. It'll be a high turnout. But again, I really do appreciate your time with everybody that's involved in this and giving me a few minutes of your time this afternoon just to give a kind of a perspective of the committee that I'm involved in.
All right, John, thanks so much. We'll see you in Bar Harbor soon.
Sounds great, Chris. Thank you so much.